avoid any wrinkles at all costs. Now, here's what happens when you do that. This may not be the best photograph in the world, but hopefully you can get the idea. That first layer of tape will wrap around the shaft with just the slightest overlap. But as the shaft is built up with each successive layer, then what you're going to start to see is a gap where the buildup tape is wrapped around. In our case, when you do 9 layers, you'll start to create a sizable gap or almost a flat spot that can be felt underneath the grip. Now that we're done adding our buildup tape, we want to proceed by adding our single layer of double-sided tape and then install the grip as normal. Will the grip stretch over the tape? Well, that's a good question. Most rubber grips will stretch quite a bit. Cord grips don't, so you might be restricted to how many layers of buildup tape you could do underneath the grip. Then you have multi-layer or synthetic overwrap grips like Win or Caracal that may not stretch at all. Only the Win grips with the AVS technology can be built up, and there's a limit to that too, as the most you can go is usually 4 wraps underneath those grips. Okay, at this time, let's do a few examples just to show you how these charts work. We want to start out with an easy one. We have a customer who wants a grip that's a men's plus 1/32 inch over men's standard. I should probably tell you this now. This could be a female golfer and doesn't have to be male since we're talking about men's oversized grips. Golf Pride introduced their Vine series this year with 2 of the sizes being men's standard and men's mid-size because they found that many women found the larger grip size more comfortable. For this reason, you might see the term undersized being used instead of the term ladies standard. The shaft the person has on their clubs or was fitted for is 600 in our example. As a club maker, you could have 3 options here. The first is to find a grip that's already sized as plus 1/32, which are rare but do exist like our Karma mid-size grips. Or you can look at the chart and you can take a 580 grip and add 2 wraps of masking tape on our 600, or use a 600 grip and add 4 wraps of masking tape. You can see that right here, and highlighted in yellow. Now this is all going to depend upon your inventory. Even if you have both sizes in stock, you may feel that using a 580 grip and 2 wraps of tape will save you more time and money than using 2 more additional wraps on the shaft when using a 600 grip. On our next example, we want a grip that will measure a men's plus 1/16 of an inch, again with the customer's 600 shaft. Your first choice is probably to find a mid-size grip if it's available. If not, then you can take a 580 grip and add 6 wraps of masking tape, or you can use a 600 grip and add 9 wraps of masking tape. In example number 3, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Let's say we have a male golfer that has small hands, and the shaft he has measures 600. There are a couple things we can do to create a men's undersized grip. Remember from a previous slide that there was some overlap when we talked about grip sizing, that a men's 1/64 under measures 0.884 inches, 2 inches below the grip cap, while a lady's plus 1/32 measured 0.881 inches, which is close enough. Let me back up and show you that chart again. Here we go. See, the ladies plus 1/32 is the same as the men's minus 1/64. Back to the screen here. Okay. Now, if you want to start out using a lady's grip, the first thing to do is to find probably a ladies rubber grip that doesn't have a whole bunch of feminine colors on it. Ladies grips most commonly are offered in a 560 or a 580 core size. So if we did find a ladies grip with a 560 core, we could just simply install that onto the 600 shaft and we'll get our size we want it. We can also use a ladies 580 core size grip, but we'll need to add 2 layers of masking tape to achieve the size that we want. And remember, if this is an overwrap like a wind grip, the grip may or may not be able to stretch over the butt end depending upon the model. Only the wind grips with the ABS technology can be built up. The last possibility doesn't really show up in our chart, so this is a little added bonus material here. We know that a men's 600 core size grip installed onto a 600 shaft will be standard size. However, we can stretch that grip down and make it smaller. If you evenly stretch the grip down 3/4 of an inch more, you can reduce the size by a 1/64, as long as it's a rubber grip. Now in our last example, we want to make a jumbo or a +1/8 inch grip. Now very few of the grips come in this particular size, so you may be forced to create one. By looking at our chart, you can go to the extreme and add 15 or 18 layers of masking tape depending upon the core size of the grip used. The other option is to start out by using a mid-size grip. If you look at the difference in the yellow highlighted area, you'll see that there are 9 layers of tape difference between the +1/16 and the +1/8. So if we started out with a mid-size grip, or I should state a +1/16 inch grip, then we can eliminate the need for 9 layers of tape. So in this case, we could just use 6 layers of masking tape if we have a 1/16 of it, or +16 inch grip with a 580 core, or 9 layers of tape with a +1/16 grip on a 600 core shaft. And this will save you a lot of work and still yield our jumbo size. These are just a few of the examples on how to create custom grip sizes when a particular grip is not available in the size that you want. After you complete building up your first grip, if you're doing multiple clubs within a set, it may not hurt to take your calipers and measure 2 inches down on the grip to double check your sizes. There could be a couple reasons why the grip size that you wanted may not come out as planned. If it's only off a little, I wouldn't be overly concerned. If you use the same procedure for any other club in the set and you're consistent on how you did the first one, then the rest of the club should be the same, well, at least on the same shaft. If it's a little bit more than that, then you want to double check the inventory that you have on hand. Did you use a men's standard 580 grip rather than a ladies 580 grip, or vice versa? You can check inside the mouth and you'll see that on most rubber grips you'll see something like M58 or L58 inside. And you also want to think for a second, did I use enough wraps of tape? By this time, if you measured the grip quick enough, you might be able to pull the grip back off before the solvent's evaporated. There's one other explanation that you might not even have thought of. The shaft that you're using may have a large amount of taper. The thing to remember is someone took the time years ago to establish these standard sizes.